And that's a moment that it occurred to me. God,
You're going to see the absolute disaster that Abraham, Isaac, Jacob.
I want to comment about something that I just saw in the news this morning when I got up. And I'm not a news junkie. I'm not a kind of guy that hangs on everything that happens in the news. But I do try to think through the implications of what the news is saying. The House of Representatives in the United States of America took a historic step, and I'm not sure that we took a step in the right direction. Now, I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm about to be highly political about what I say. And if you're looking for me to support your Republican Party or to support your Democratic Party, I absolutely refuse to do that. I am not aligned, nor do I vote with either specific major party in the United States. I vote my conscience, and I vote about how candidates follow the issues. But I've got some real beef with what happened as Republicans in the United States House of Representatives, for the first time in history, voted to impeach an individual cabinet member. And the reason why they voted to impeach the Secretary of Homeland Security, Secretary Mayorkas, is because of their fervor over immigration reform. It's because of the politicizing of illegal immigrants coming into the United States. There are 5,000 things that I would like to be able to say about illegal immigration, about the immigration policies of the United States, about the hundreds of thousands of people that are breaking international law and care nothing about the United States' laws and are coming into our country illegally. But I'm not going to talk about it. I want to talk about using the Constitution of the United States as a weapon. And what really angers me about what happened is because this article of the Constitution was meant to be able to protect the people from tyranny. It was designed to be able to make sure that no one could ever seize power, take power away from the voting members of the United States, and to basically run the country like a tyrant. But if you've noticed, over the history of the United States, there have been only a few, very few impeachments in history. And let's just be honest, there have been some egregious problems, some terrible errors, and even some very, very unethical leaders in the highest levels of government in the United States over the last 200 plus years. If you look at the first 200 years of American history and compare how many times somebody was impeached, how many times the impeachment process even began, and then look at the past 20 years, 25 years, you'll see that for whatever reason, we just started using impeachment as a political tool. The amount of impeachments has taken off like a rocket ship. Literally, in the last 20 years, we have impeached more people than the entire history of our country in general, which says something changed about impeachment, the way that impeachment is conducted in the United States. For 200 years, all of our government's leaders recognized this is an incredibly serious affair when somebody gets to the point that we need to just consider the word impeachment. There is the high crimes and misdemeanors clause in the Constitution that says if it doesn't meet this clause, you can't even have this discussion. But what people are considering high crimes and misdemeanors now falls very much into against my political party's ideology. And so I'm now going to use impeachment to accomplish something that, I'll just be honest, my party couldn't accomplish on their own. And now we're going to turn the Constitution into a weapon against the political process of the United States. My issues with using impeachment, and don't get me wrong, I am thrilled that we live in a country where leaders can be forcibly removed from their office by other politicians in our country, policing their own ranks and making sure that nobody abuses their office. But the gift that the House of Representatives Republicans gave the United States was to molest the Constitution and turn it into a weapon against the democratic process. When you start using impeachment for ideological reasons, the high crimes and misdemeanors clause no longer fits. And in fact, impeachment now just becomes another of the many ugly tools that this two-party political system in the United States has created. My issue is, while the parties start talking about or even start going down the road of impeachment, what happens when impeachment is so abused? What happens if it is used so often that impeachment no longer does for the people of the United States, for the Constitution of the United States, what it was really designed to do in the first place? Where does America turn when impeachment has been abused so often and a boy has cried wolf so often that impeachment doesn't mean anything anymore? That's why I'm really furious with what I read in the news. I'm also furious about what's happening on our borders, and I'm furious about our nation's leadership not taking action to do what our country is, what their role in government requires them to do, and to secure the people of the United States by securing the borders. And if you cannot change the immigration rules and what it takes to become a citizen of the United States, then you owe it to the people of the United States to secure the borders and stop the tidal wave of immigrants that are coming across the border who can care less about our country and our laws and are breaking international laws and U.S. laws just to get into this country. I'm furious about that, but not furious to the point that I would distort the Constitution and use it as a weapon to accomplish a simple political agenda. This is my thoughts on the news report in the United States about the impeachment of Homeland Defense Secretary Mayorkas.